Hey you guys, so today I'm going to be doing a requested video. As many of you know, I have been on keto and I have had some success. So I wanted to share with you. Now on keto, I have currently, to date, I have lost about 16 pounds and about 15 or 16 inches as well. So like I said, I've had some success, so I wanted to give you guys kind of an introductory video because you would be very surprised how many people have no idea what keto is. So let's get started. So first things first, what is keto? I have a shirt that I made that says, "I will fear no evil carbs, for I am keto." And I actually have people stop me on the street and ask me, what is keto? Simple answer is, it's a way of eating. Just think of like Atkins or South Beach, that type of thing. It's a way of eating. It is a low carb, high fat way of eating. But instead of just focusing on the low carb aspect of it, it focuses on the 3 macros: protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Now you might be thinking, what are macros? That's a common question. No worries. Macros are macronutrients, and the macronutrients are required by the human body to sustain life. So the fats, the proteins, and the carbohydrates. So you might be asking yourself, what does keto do? Is it right for me? What's the deal? The keto way of eating, or WOE, as you might see in some of the forums and the discussions, or you might hear people on YouTube saying WOE, it's designed to switch our bodies from taking the glucose and the sugars that we get from the carbs that we're feeding our bodies currently. We use that as our energy source. So what keto does is it switches it to where our body starts using our fat stores for energy. So we end up burning the fat rather than burning the glucose and the sugars that come in from the carbs. So basically we use our stored fat as energy. So it works out perfectly. Another common question that people have is, will I lose weight? I can't speak for everyone because I'm not a doctor, but the short answer is yes. How long it takes you to lose the weight is what is going to vary from person to person. If you do it correctly and you dedicate yourself to keto, you have a big chance of being successful on it. It's not a fad diet. It's not something that, oh, I'm going to do keto this week. It's actually a lifestyle. An eating lifestyle is what I call it, because it is making a conscious decision what you put in your body. It's not just a diet. You have to dedicate yourself to it 110%, or it's not going to work. If you're like, I'm going to eat, 4 days this week, and then day 5, I'm going to eat whatever I want to, and then I'll just get back on, that's going to be your vicious cycle. And you're going to have to keep starting over, and it's not really going to work for you. One of the other things about keto is that it is designed to get your body into ketosis. Ketosis and ketoacidosis are 2 completely different things, and that is a common question that people have. That's not what keto is doing. Keto is turning your system into ketosis. That's where you want to be when you're on keto. And that is when it switches over to burning your fat stores instead of the carbohydrates. So ketosis is the good thing. That's what we want. Another question that people ask and things that they're concerned about is the food. Now, a lot of diet plans out there are very specific on don't eat this, don't eat this, don't eat this. have this food every Thursday, or, whatever. On keto, just so that you're aware, you want to stay away from breads, pastas, tortillas, rice, potatoes, root vegetables, things like that, because they are very high in carbohydrates. Yes, even vegetables are high in carbohydrates. But I thought vegetables were good for you. They are. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that they have carbohydrates, and so although you can have carbohydrates on keto, you are limiting the number of carbs that you have. So if you are going to have vegetables, you want to limit the number of carbs that you have with them. So what foods do you have to stay away from? Everything that we just touched on. But here's the trick. On keto, there are so many recipes out there that allow you to make bread and make rice and make tortillas and bagels. I've seen ice creams. So it's changing your way of thinking. So you can have that stuff, but you just have to make it yourself. And so there's a ton and tons of recipes out there that give you that kind of carby, craving that you're having. You just have to kind of make it yourself. And with that, I've even seen donuts and pizza. In fact, I have a recipe for pizza that I'm going to be making with my daughter, and I will video it for you guys if you're interested in seeing it. I have posted it on one of my motivational groups, and everybody has loved it. So I will make that for you guys, and I'll post it on my YouTube channel. So what foods can you eat? Think meat. Think veggies. Think eggs. Think cheese. Lots and lots of cheese. Like chips made out of strictly cheese. Avocados and deviled eggs and wraps and salads. And I mean, there's so much. I can't even, the list goes on and on. We are trying new recipes all the time, and they are all amazing. There are so many recipes out there, and I highly suggest that if you're going to be starting keto, research all of those delicious recipes, and you will not be disappointed. There are so many out there. Here's another question relating to food was, am I still going to be able to go out to eat? Again, short answer, because I don't want to take this video up to like a half an hour. There's so much information I want to give you. Yes, you can go out to eat. Most places have a wide variety of foods that you can have. And all you have to do is be conscious of what you're ordering. My suggestion would probably be to research where you're going, check out their menu. Anything that's on the food, or any item that has something carby related, just take it off. My husband and I went to In-N-Out the other day. We got a double cheeseburger. All we did was without the bun, so it's called protein style, and they wrapped it in a lettuce wrap for us, and it was delicious. You don't even miss the bun. So there are things that you have to be conscious of, but there are so many alternatives that it makes up for it. Hopefully that makes sense. So what does keto include? What do you have to do? Do you have to work out? Do you have to buy expensive food? I'm not going to lie to you guys. Keto takes a little bit of research and a lot of planning. I'm starting my 4th week on keto, and I already have a binder full. A binder of just papers and recipes. And that's really why I think I'm going to be successful on keto, because I am doing the research. I am learning as much as possible about this way of living. And I think it's very, very important that you figure out exactly what's going on, what it entails. There are a lot of informational videos out there that you guys can watch besides this one. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to say that research, it takes a lot of research and a lot of planning. And if you love to cook, this is definitely really good for that, because a lot of the time you'll find yourself at home and you'll have to cook a lot of your meals, unless you meal prep and do it ahead of time, and then that's great. You're planned for it. No, you do not need to exercise. It is not required on keto. You can, of course, exercise if you're comfortable doing that. I do. I try and get to the gym about 5 times a week, 4 to 5 times, depending on how busy I am or what our plans are. So that's really whatever your preference is. And no, you do not need to buy expensive food. You can, of course, always go organic, which is recommended for certain fruits and vegetables anyway. I have not really worried about it. I have gotten the ingredients that I have on my list for the different recipes that I'm going to be making. And there you go. So no, you do not have to buy expensive food. And one of the other things too is on keto, you will be losing weight. So get yourself a tape measure. The easiest thing to do is step on the scale, right? But there are many, many different reasons for the scale to go up or down. And it varies between the time of day, your bowel movements, if you ate a big breakfast, or if you have been, eating too much sodium. So there's many, many different reasons why the scale is not your friend on keto. And that's one thing that you need to be aware of. If you are a person that weighs yourself every day when you're on a diet, that's going to have to change. That's going to have to change big time. I was one of those people who would weigh themselves every single day. And all it's going to do is set you up for disappointment. Okay? So get yourself a tape measure and be prepared to write it down. Write everything down. Start a notebook, start a journal, start a binder. Look up recipes just to get yourself an idea of the different things that you can have. And you're going to have to start making yourself comfortable with food labels, because you're going to know what to look for. You're going to need to know what to look for. Let me just grab this empty Powerade Zero bottle, okay? For instance, and this might be backwards in the camera, I don't know, because I can see myself and I can't see, what you guys are seeing. But on the food labels, you're going to want, don't even look at the calories. And that's one of the beautiful things about keto. I haven't counted calories at all. You want to look for the total fat. You want to look for the carbohydrates. And you also want to look for the protein. Now, if you're getting started on keto and you want to know more about that part, I'm going to do another video getting started with keto. So you can check that out. But prepare yourself for this journey, because it's exactly what it is. If you want to start on keto, you can either just jump in like I did. I literally threw myself off into the deep end of keto, and I'm very, very happy with it. So other people decide that they're going to go high fat for a little while before they start keto, so their body starts getting used to the higher fat content. Again, that's up to you. So totally adaptable to what you want to do. Everything that keto is, it's switching our bodies to burn to the right type of fuel. So it's burning our fat stores rather than the glucose and the sugars. It's science-based. So it's based on our own personal bodies. You will lose weight. You will lose inches. Your blood sugar level will decrease. My husband, perfect example of that. He's very happy with his numbers, and he is starting his 2nd week. Inflammation decreasing. Mental clarity. Did I mention weight loss? That's a big one. So for everything that keto is not a fad diet. It's not something to try for a week or two and then say, I can't do it. I'm not losing any weight. I'm just going to give up and go back to my old way of eating. What is that really going to do for you? Nothing. You're going to have to keep starting over regardless of what kind of diet plan you have. So if you have that mentality, that's something that you really got to work on, because if it took you long to put the weight on, it's going to take a while to get it off. That's just something to keep in mind. And it's not easy. It's not easy at first until you get accustomed to you know, the carbs and the sugars and the proteins and what it all means and everything, once you familiarize yourself with it, then it becomes a little bit easier, and it will as you progress, because you'll start learning more about it, and then, you know, you will become keto. And it's not instant gratification, guys. This is not an instant weight loss. Okay, that's something that you need to be aware of. You are not going to start keto and then immediately drop 40 pounds. It doesn't work like that. It's going to be maybe fast in the beginning as you drop the water weight. You might lose, the first 2 weeks I lost 14 pounds. Okay, and that's great. I also lost 15 inches in the first 2 weeks. Since then, my weight loss has stalled. Okay, so I'm not losing weight right now. The scale is not going down. It's not being my friend. It's not on my good list right now. It's on my bad list. But my inches are going down. And so that's even equal, if not more important. Okay? And so that's where the tape measure comes in. Your results will vary, and it is very important that you do not base your results or lack of, don't compare those to other people, because everybody is different, and you will definitely see that on this lifestyle, this way of eating, this WOE. Times will vary, and you have to give yourself that time. You have to give yourself that time. Something that you need to understand is some people, they don't lose any weight for 2 months, and then it starts coming off. There's people in 6 months, they've lost 85 pounds, which is amazing. Other people have gone 3 weeks and only lost 7 pounds. You know, so individual results may vary. Okay, just like a little disclaimer. So you need to be okay with that. And that's really important. You need to be okay with that. You have to be understanding. You have to have that patience with your body as it heals from the inside out. And by that I mean it's so used to getting that carb intake, the glucose, the sugar, your insulin levels, all of that, all out of whack. So when you start something like this, it's not going to like you. You are going to really piss it off. But it's switching over to becoming fat adapted, which means it's switching over to start burning your internal fat stores as its energy. So as long as you have that patience and you trust the process, I cannot say that enough because that is something that I struggle with. Trust the process. Trust the process. Give yourself that time. You have to do that if you're going to start keto. My most important thing. Being fat adapted is meaning your metabolic state. Switching over to burning fat as fuel. But if you're ready, if you have just an excited feeling about keto and you want to get started, follow me over to my Getting Started with Keto video. You won't be sorry. And if not, if you're just not sure and you want to do some more research on it, you know, that's totally fine. Take all the time that you need. Remember, that's one of my things. Do research before. Check it out, figure it out. You know, watch some videos. There's a ton of really, really great videos out there. And I will post some down below that I have seen and that I have watched and learned from. So maybe you guys can look into it a little bit more. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you kind of understand what keto is, giving you an introductory to it. And if you're ready, let's go and we will get started.